Are you ready? Fatima is my sister, and she's actually in the audience right now. So, Fatima, you want to say hi?
Hello.
She's 13 years old, and I'm going to do my best to persuade her. Here we go. Have you ever felt like you have something you want to teach someone? You get really excited, you teach the other person, and you feel like you fell short of getting the information across? If you have, you're not alone. In the past, I felt the same, and what I found after failing multiple times is that the delivery of my speech wasn't speaking to the whole class. After taking unsuccessful multiple times to efficiently teaching something new to a class, I adopted a new form of teaching, which is called Tell, Show, Do, Practice, Review. Not only am I going to explain why you should adopt this method of teaching, but I'm also going to give you credible sources backing each individual section up. As a director of banking in a fast-paced work environment, it was imperative for me to teach new concepts with a way of team members retaining the information without affecting their overall work schedule. In that time, I'm confident that I can persuade you into using this concept because I've actually used it in the past and it's worked. I've won back-to-back top director. I've won top pace to goal in the company for my bankers, excelling the entire company of Quicken Loans, all 30,000 team members. And finally, one of my other cool awards is that I've won a training certification award for training on how to effectively use Tell, Show, Do, Practice, Review. And today I'm actually going to persuade you on how to use it. So, all in all, most of you guys are asking what's in it for me. Simply put, it's going to make your life so much easier. There's this type of training in one way or another, is always going to be hands-on. There's always going to be a visual, and the structure is so simple to understand, and it's so universal that another instructor can just pick up where you left off. Using this form of training is also going to take a lot of stress off of you by providing specific direction with a great outline to follow. This effective form, again called Tell, Show, Do, Practice, Review, has 5 parts. And as long as you follow all 5 parts, you'll be able to teach a foreign concept to any audience. First is tell. In this section, it's imperative to grab your class's attention. Usually, you're going to start off with a something that I would like to call the 3 F's. That's feel, felt, found. By using this, you're going to emotionally connect with your audience by letting them know what you feel, and then, or rather what they feel, one or the other, and then you're going to tell them what you have felt by experiencing this, and then you're going to share experiences of what you have found in the past. Using this, you immediately build an emotional connection to your entire audience. However, it's very important to practice this and structure it to be specific to what you are teaching. As Barry Farber says, teaching this concept, learn the feel, felt, found method as well as you can and use it without really using it. What he's saying is to practice it so well that you take your class and they don't realize you teach it to your class and they don't realize you're using it. It should come off naturally. The second part is show. Inside of show, it's very important for you to give your class a visual representation of what you're talking about. Some of your students are visual learners, and it's important to give those members a visual representation of your training. As Adele Devine explains in her book, Literacy for Visual Learners, approximately 20 to 30% of the school-age population remembers what is heard. 40% recalls well visually the things that are seen or read. So again, it's very important to use a visual. The statistic is compelling because it shows the memory retention is double when there is a visual representation. The third part is do. Now, do goes hand in hand with show. This is where you will show your class how to do whatever it is that you are teaching. If this is a new form of communication, use someone from the class to do a demonstration in front of the class. A side note, it's important to pick on someone who has been paying attention or is a student who does exceptionally well usually, because you want your example and the do to run smooth. The smoother it runs, the more quickly your audience or your students are going to grasp the concept. Also, acting the concept out is going to give those who are still confused a better understanding of it. The fourth part is practice. After doing the set and working it out with another person in front of the class, this is where you'll have everybody break off into pairs of twos. It's important that the practice does not stop. This form of practice is called mass practice, which in the book Teaching Information Literacy in Higher Education is defined as the same topic or procedure is studied and restudied numerous times in a relatively short span of time. So what they're essentially saying is mass practice is dangerous to do if you're going to do it and then stop doing it. So it's very important to leave your audience or your class with a to-do, and I'll explain that in this next section that I'm transitioning to, which is review. This is the final section of Tell, Show, Do, Practice, Review. In this section, it's important to ask questions to challenge your class in order to see how well they retain the information. If you executed well in each section, I'm confident you will succeed. Also, it's crucial to leave your class with a to-do that I mentioned before. Let your class know that in 2 weeks you're going to follow up with them and ask them to provide 2 examples of how they've applied the new concept. And yes, you should actually follow up with your class. This will actually get them to practice more. There are other benefits to following up as well. An article published by Tech Republic and written by Elisa Suter says, "Why is following up so important? You should use the opportunity to identify additional training needs for the group, meaning more business opportunities for you." This means that you're going to know exactly what to train for the next time you train with your class. So if you're not following up, you're never going to know how to address your training for the next time you meet with that audience, if it's a reoccurring training or not. Using Tell, Show, Do, Practice, Review is an extremely effective way of teaching. As long as you follow all 5 steps in order and you, as the instructor, practice the training prior to presenting, you will be able to efficiently teach a new concept to any audience. I encourage all of you to try teaching something to someone using this form. You could also email me back and let me know how it went. If any of you watching, or you, Fatima, have any further questions, or if I haven't persuaded you on using it, reach out to me. I'd love to help. That's all. Did I persuade you to use Tell, Show, Do, Practice, Review the next time you teach our younger brother Muhammad something that he needs to know?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
Cool. All right. I'm going to ask you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right.